Okie dokie. Alright, so far so good. This is just an impromptu kind of live chat. I haven't done one of these for a while. I actually tried it last week, and then I had all kinds of trouble with my internet connection, and it just was not working. So I'm hoping this is going to keep working, and we'll see what happens. So I just wanted to do like a quick live Q&A. I don't really have any agenda, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Hey, Coding Made Easy. And just, as always, a quick shout out to my members. Kevin, who has reached his 4th month of membership. So thank you so much to Kevin. And my paddles, who are on their 3rd month. And Snakes on the 2nd month. And my newer members, the Invaders. So I do appreciate that. And I do have, I think, Super Chat enabled. And yeah, you can join if you have the means and the desire. So I'm just going to keep this up here. And hello to both Coding Made Easy, Coding with 3DV. Yes, I did a premiere a little bit ago. And hello to KED Lyrics. So thanks for stopping by. Let me switch over to my chat screen, see what happens. Yeah, okay, so that comes up. And yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I haven't done this for a while, and I hope that nobody does anything stupid. So let's keep it clean. I do teach young children, so I appreciate they do stop in from time to time. But I didn't really have anything in particular to go over today. I just thought, yeah, if there's any questions, I could go ahead and try and answer them, I guess. I didn't really have anything that I needed to do today. I was going to kind of take it easy myself. And, yeah, just kind of go from there. Plus, it's cold. It's actually really cold here in Tokyo. I actually have the heat on, which is kind of rare. But, yeah. Now, of course, one of the, they say you never want to have dead air, but again, I don't really have anything planned, but if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to do that. Fantastic. Coding with 3DV. How do you configure Genie like this? Coding 3D, what do you mean? Which part of the configuration? Do you mean the color scheme, or what are you talking about? Thank you, KED. I appreciate that. I do my best. I do what I can. I have good days and bad days, but hopefully the good days outnumber the bad days. But yeah, like coding with 3DV, just let me know what you mean by how do you configure Genie like this. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Color scheme. Okay. It's pretty easy, actually. If you go up to Genie and it's under View. You'd think it would be under Preferences. So I was like clicking around Preferences, and it was driving me nuts. Because in Preferences you can change the font sizes and things, but you got to go to View. You see where it says Change Color Scheme, and yeah, just click that. And now I've only got 2 different color schemes on here. You can download more color schemes. Let me see if I can find the web page. I'm not sure what's going to pop up here. That's the case. So the chat just probably got overwritten there. Let me pop that up there to the top. And so if I go to Genie Color Schemes, and yeah, Images, Themes for Genie. So if you go into here, and there's a bunch of different themes here, you can just download them. Now, I'm not 100% sure how to install them. It depends on your operating system. It'll be a little bit different probably on Windows, a little bit different on the Mac, and a little bit different on Linux, possibly even different between Linux versions. But I just downloaded the theme that I wanted, and I think I'm using Bespin, which is one that I've always liked. There's lots of cool ones. You might prefer a lighter theme. I prefer the darker theme. I have one student who's using this one, and I always tell her she looks like a hacker. She's like total like old school with that theme. But it's nice to be able to customize it for the style that you prefer. And yeah, it's one of the nice things about Genie. Most programs, of course, these days, but Genie lets you do that. I like this one too, the raspberry colors as well is a pretty nice one. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so you just do that, and then you can probably look up some information. Google how do I install Genie theme for whatever your operating system is. And hello to Daniel. Welcome. So Daniel, we're just doing a Q&A. I don't really have anything planned. So yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and fire away. I'll try and answer what I can. I don't know everything, trust me. As my grad school professors know that, but I do my best with what I've got. And let's see here. Yeah, so I've got 3 different screens going here, or 2 different screens going. So I'm trying to figure out how everything's going. And I just got this added to my computer. This thing is going to work. I got like my own teleprompter now, so I'm pretty excited about that. Will I go off the screen now? Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. it's the little things that make your day. 3D rendering in Pygame or Turtle. To be absolutely honest, coding 3D, I do not know how to do that. Actually, one of my viewers shared some code with me to do that, and I don't have it readily available. Must have it somewhere. Oops, I can't get out of the drawing mode. There we go. I don't have it readily available. The problem is, drawing is easy. The problem is that I don't know the math for 3D rotations. I know the math for, I used to. I know the math for 2D rotations, but I can't figure out the math for the 3D rotations. And it has something to do with matrices. I've never really been good at that, but it's something I got to learn because they use it in my grad program a lot. Hello to Craig Rasseri. Hello. But I don't know, coding with 3DV. Have you seen my Ursina video? I don't know where I even have the code on this thing anymore. Maybe under other downloads, desktop documents. Nope. Downloads. Yeah. Yeah, not sure what that would be. I did switch over to a new account and stuff here. Let's see. I'll do a quick search. We'll see if Ursina comes up. Ursina. Oops. Ursina desktop cleanup. There we go. Yeah, here's my Ursina demo. Yeah, coding with 3DV. Yeah, exactly. Projection matrix, matrix multiplication, etc., etc. But yeah, I just don't know how to do it. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. See if I can. Nope. Here we go. Nope, that was dumb. And let's try Command Shift plus. There we go. Make the chat a little bit bigger and easier to read. And hello to Yair. So here's my Ursina thing. And let's see if that still runs. Yosh. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell, but these are 3D balls kind of bouncing back and forth. So the balls that are closer to the camera are larger. They're all the same size. But as they get further away, they get smaller. And then as they get closer, they get larger. And you can see they're, in theory, and you can kind of see it. They're bouncing off of each other in 3D. So this, yeah, I did a video on this. Just look it up on my channel somewhere. It's Ursina 3D, and now I cannot close that because I can't get a handle. There we go. So Ursina is pretty cool. I'm quite a fan of that. What else are you guys going to import images into the calculator? Okay, KED. Let's go ahead and try that one. Yeah, I think we can do that. Hello to Taha Bhatia. Hello. So, calculator. Let me see if I can find the calculator. Yeah, Katie, would you stop asking the same question? Put it in once. I will get to it eventually. Let's see. Is it up here anymore? Nope. So, I'll see if I can find that. There is a delay between when I talk and when your things show up. So, calculator. Calculator app. What the heck is that? Calculator tutorial. Let's try that one. Ursina, Daniel, just watch the Ursina video. It'll explain how to do all that. Open with other application, Genie. There we go. Alrighty. So the question was from KED was how to put pictures into my calculator tutorial. So let's take a look at the calculator tutorial, and this is what it looks like. And to be honest, I don't know the answer to this question, but I'm going to figure it out for you. I'm going to show you how it's done. This is something I try to explain to my students is I simply don't know everything. Before I teach a lesson, of course, at school, I look it up and I know what I'm doing usually, unless I'm trying to demonstrate the fact that I don't know everything. So anyway, let's see. Team AQ, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate the idea about donations. The only place I take donations is here on my YouTube channel. So I have Super Chat enabled. But if you don't use YouTube for that purpose, that's okay. I don't feel any pressure, but I appreciate the thought. So KED wants to bring in an image. Now, some things we got to think about that I know, but things that I'll have to figure out a couple other things. For the TK Inter module, basically I can use GIF images. I can't really use anything else. Taha, I have a maze game tutorial that you could easily turn into Pac-Man because I've had middle school students do it for me. So take a look at that. Okay, and you're welcome, Team AQ. So anyway, let me do this. So first we're going to need a GIF image of some sort. So let me go ahead and bring that back. And I'm going to go ahead, and I always go to open clip art because everything is completely open. How can I put it? The license for this is Creative Commons 0. It means I can use it for any purpose, and I do not need to give attribution, which is quite nice. So I really like this site. I use it with my students, and most of the images are very, very clean. An Indian stereotype. Your message was held for review, and the answer is no. So probably you guys can see that. But if you message me or something, I can take a look. But I don't really know what kind of feedback I can give to you. I don't know. So Adarsh and Barakat, how's it going? So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do equals. So just to show you the idea. Okay, and okay, so let's say this is the image I want to use. So I'm going to use this on my equal sign. So now I'm just going to go ahead and save this image. Let's see what happens here. Okay, this is a PNG. So, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze probably. Equals .png. All right, so, and yeah, let me know if the image goes out. And thank you, Indian Stereotype, for retracting that. I appreciate that. So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to put that on my desktop now. And, okay. So, well, Craig, yeah, I mean, probably stick to programming. I mean, yeah, I don't really know what else I can help you with in life. And Predator, yes, this is Python. So, okay, so back to KED's question. So I do have an image on the desktop. The problem is that it is a PNG. Where is it? And we have to have this in GIF format. So I'm going to go ahead and convert this, which is pretty easy. Adarsh, I'm American, but I live in Japan. So File. So I'm going to go to Image, Scale Image. I'm just going to make this a lot smaller. I'm going to let's try 80. Let's see how, that should be big enough. That's still pretty big. But let's just go ahead and use that. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to Export As. And as I mentioned earlier, this has got to be a GIF file. Otherwise, it doesn't really work with TK Inter. Okay. So discover changes. So now I've got equals.gif, and I want to put this into my program. Now, problem is I don't know how to do this. I mean, I have done it, but I don't know how to do it exactly. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to search for that. Now notice I use DuckDuckGo as my search engine because it respects your privacy. I'm going to say, add image to TK Inter button. And KD, I used the GIMP. It's an open source image editing software. Okay, so tutorials point. Fantastic website. Geeks for Geeks. Fantastic website. TK Inter, how to add image to button. Don't know this one, but I'm sure it's very good. Stack Overflow. Can't go wrong with those guys. Let's try Stack Overflow and see what happens. I'm kind of curious. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. I don't do a lot on Discord, to be honest with you. Sub to Indian Stereotype. But I would appreciate if you... I'm just going to block you, I'm sorry. IDs are in the channel. You know, I understand you're trying to promote your channel, but it's just kind of rude to do that while I'm in the middle of something. So, yeah, where was I at there? Sorry about that, everyone. And I'm going to go back to that. Now, so what what I saw on the Stack Overflow is this code. So it says image test equals photo image file equals blah, blah, blah. So let's try this. So let's say equals, because that's our image. And now I'm really, really picky about variable names and things like that. And let's see, how did I do this? Okay, so I'm going to call this image. Nilesh, I don't know if I can make a series on it. I have a video that'll help get you started, but I've only ever used it once myself, so I don't know a lot about it. I tend to stick to things that I teach my own students in my real classes. And to be honest, my students aren't quite ready for Ursina yet, I don't think. It's a bit advanced, I think, for their level. So image equals. Okay. So what this does, let's run it and see what happens. Okay, it says photo image is not defined. So let me try tk enter.photo image. And oops. Okay, Indian stereotype. Thank you for clarifying that. And so unfortunately your friend got banned. It happens. Okay, so Sergeir show. So Sergeir has some code to try. And okay, I'm almost there, I think. So I think all I have to do now is when I create the equals button, and I think I just put in here image equals image equals. Let's see what happens. Wow, that was cool. Okay, it worked. But it wasn't certain size. So I think what Sergeir is kind of telling me is I need to define the size of the button there. So is that going to be in here probably? So 80, comma 80. Because I think that was the original size. Well, let's see if that works. See if that helps. Nope, that didn't work. And maybe the button. Well, okay, well, let's see where we're at with this. Okay, and let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and try. So I'm going to go back and search. Let's see what pops up on here. Image. And. Let's see here. Oh, is that what you were talking about? Okay, maybe that's what Sergeir was talking about. Canvas.create image. Wow, that's really annoying. Do we have to do that? Okay, let's try that. Yeah, sometimes I really... This type of stuff with coding I really dislike. I wish there were just easier ways to do things. So we're going to say root.create image. Where I learned to code, I just kind of taught myself mostly, and then a few years ago I started taking classes, actual classes. Image equals. All right, so if I get this working, I'll kind of go back through and step by step and see what happens. Okay, and that's the other thing is like I don't do well when people are watching me. Let's just canvas.create. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, I'm getting there. Let's see here. That's the thing. Like when you guys watch a tutorial that I've done, I've already done this part of it. I've already gone through and tried to figure out everything that I need to do. I'm gonna try one other Google search. I just want to see if I can set size of tk enter button and see if that helps. Change the tk enter button size. Now I'm just gonna click on the first link and see what happens. And there we go. Problem solved. Height and width. That should have been obvious. Team AQ. Sorry, I just don't have time. Please understand that I have a job, a full-time job. I am a graduate student, and yeah, I'm married. I have things to do. That's what I did. The height and width. Let's try that. Oops, that was dumb. So height equals, what was it? Was it 80? This is going to be huge. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm just making the button a certain size. Okay, well, there we go. Fantastic. I'm going to make the button a little bit wider, just to kind of fill the screen a little better. Okay, so we have a huge equals button here now, which, is not a terrible thing. So, hi, Mishka. So, KED, that is the answer to your question. So what I've done was this. And I got that from Stack Overflow and a few other sites. So, yeah. So just, I had to create an image, like an image, I guess you'd probably call it an image handle, but image equals, so something, a variable to hold the image. It's a tkinter photo image, and the file name is the file that I downloaded. Hey, and there is Paul, one of the paddle members. Paul, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. And I don't know if it's good morning, good evening, good afternoon there, but hello to you. Glad you could make it. And so, yeah, you'll see here the file name. Now note, just real quick, this is something people get kind of messy with from time to time, is the equals GIF file that I'm using is in the same folder as the calculator tutorial. Now, if you're on Windows, probably it will not work quite as easily. You might have to put the whole like pass C:, blah, 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 whatever Windows users use. So I created the image, and then down here when I created the button, I just said the image equals name we used, and then we use height and width to set the size of the button. Team AQ, can I apply to be a mod for your YouTube live streams? Thank you for the offer. I don't really do them very often, but I will consider it. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Team AQ, thank you for your understanding. I'm just really, really busy, and I'm sorry. Craig, any advice for avoiding plagiarism for coding? Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm in grad school. Good morning, Paul. I'm in grad school, and we have the same. Our plagiarism detection at grad school is really, really hardcore. Really, really hardcore. And they've written papers on it and published papers on it, and they do some really advanced stuff to stop plagiarism, which is good. Like literally every program that is submitted is kept and retained, and everything that's submitted after that is checked for plagiarism. So they're really hardcore about it. The advice they give us is to just code it, or if you're going to look at some example code, play around with it, whatever, then close the book and code it from scratch. I personally don't think that's necessarily fair, because, look what I just did. I just copied some code and got it to work. So I don't know. It depends on if you're doing your own work, and you got to really kind of deal with the professor for that sort of thing, I guess. Team AQ, yes, it is 7:30 p.m. It's exactly 7:30 p.m. here. And Mishka, I like the turtles too. And KD, you are very welcome. But yeah, Craig, that's a tough one. It depends what you're coding, right? If you're coding if you're coding some sort of sorting algorithm, I mean, the other people way smarter than us have figured out these sorting algorithms. There's only a couple ways to do it. So yeah, it's really weird, the whole plagiarism thing. But anyway, that's a good question. I don't really know the answer to that one. I give my students projects to do, and I don't want them to cheat. Of course, I want them to do their own work, but also I want them to feel free to do what I just did and go to the internet and get some help. But I don't want them to follow a tutorial that somebody else wrote and turn it in as their own work. Yeah, Craig, I agree with you. That's open source. That's the whole open source philosophy. We can code with me. Do you have any tutorials in Pygame? Yeah, I've got a couple. I didn't really start using Pygame a lot until recently, or I still don't use it a lot. But I do have this. Let me switch to full screen here real quick. So here's my channel somewhere. Oh, okay. So that old one came up. I don't know why that's happening, but we'll call that. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I made a mistake there somewhere. Yeah, my channel. So yeah, let's see here. So if you go to uploads and scroll down, I did this platformer. I did this in Pygame. I don't really use Pygame a lot, just because, again, my students don't use it, so it means I don't really use it. Again, it's a little bit harder. I tend to stick to the turtle module, but yeah. So there's a little bit of a Pygame platformer tutorial. So if that might help you get started. I've done a couple others through the years, but I don't remember. It's so funny, like I don't even remember them all anymore. I'm starting because I've just done too many, and yeah, it's really weird. I thought I did one around here somewhere. Oh yeah, I did this side-scrolling shooter in Pygame. That was kind of interesting. That was probably the first one I really did. And let's see here. Yeah, so we can code with me. There, yes, that answers that. And Craig, PyCharm. Yeah, Mishka, I don't use PyCharm. Sorry. Yeah, just don't use it. I use Genie, and part of that reason is, PyCharm, as far as I know, is limited to Python, and I have students who take classes with me. I have students that take Python, I have students that take Java, and I have students that take both at the same time. So I don't want them to have to switch between environments to learn a new language. I also teach HTML, CSS, and a very tiny bit of JavaScript to some of my classes, and so my idea was to have one IDE that would do all of those different languages. Oh, Paul, thank you. Breakout, yeah, Breakout was a fun one. But it's really weird, Paul. Oh, that was Pygame. Who knew? I didn't even, sorry, that's off the screen for you guys, but yeah, it's weird. I completely forgot about Breakout. I've just been I have like, I don't know, 300 videos now, something like that. So it's kind of easy to forget for sure. Yeah, it's tough. But thanks, Paul. Thanks for saying that. Oh, Team AQ, Django. That's a good question. I recently did a project with that, but it was a group project for grad school. One of my classmates or group mates kind of set that up. So I found a tutorial. I'll see if I can find the one that I followed. Django tutorial. Yeah, I found a really, really good one. PyCharm cradles me in its loving arms. Yeah, Craig. For sure. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, so Team AQ, check out these. Corey Schaefer is like, the person I aspire to be with my tutorials. Check out his Django tutorials. This is what I used to get up to speed for my graduate project that I did with my groups in my databases class. So check this out. Really, really good stuff. Very step-by-step, and I think reasonably easy to understand if you have a bit of a background and stuff. So check that out. Yeah, back to here. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, I'm going to try something here. Is the little circle, can you guys see me in the little circle down here? This is something I wanted to try too today. Is that working? Is there a little circle there somewhere? Hopefully you should see. Oh, why can't I draw on that? That's not working. That's annoying. Control D. Oh, okay. I'm on the wrong screen, that's why. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, I was just checking. All right, let me go back to chat. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out OBS Studio a little bit. Got a question. Where was it? Okay, thank you everyone. Mishka, Weekend Code, Paul, 38. Ooh, Jam God. I like that name. Sergir, Mishka, thanks so much. Coding with 3DV. Yes, that is me. Yeah, I'm cold. I have a stupid hat on. Somebody asked, what age did I start coding? We can code with me. I started coding at age 9. It would have been it would have been the early 1980s. So I started coding quite some time ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Okay. Watch, but my computer had some issues with Django because it's old. Team AQ. Yeah, Yeah, that's one of those things that people I think don't really think a lot about or know a lot about. Is just just trying to get a consistent environment. Like version. You need, like, for example, my grad program. Like about a year ago, my course, we still had to use Python 2, which was crazy. So you have to have the exact library version, the exact, like if I'm using library version 2.2 and my professor wants 2.1, if it doesn't work because of that, I get a 0. So it's a really, really complicated problem to keep things up to date. JamGod, what are you coding right now? Honestly, not much. I just did this. I mean, like right now, I just did this calculator thing and added. Well, the calculator thing I did a while ago, but I added an image by request because that was kind of interesting. I haven't done that before myself, at least not much. And let's see here. Mishka started coding at 8. Oh, you got me beat. But all I will say in my defense is that in that era, I was the first kid in my neighborhood to have a computer. I was certainly the first kid in my neighborhood to do any coding. So I was very grateful to my parents for that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely a different era. There's just so much more access to computers and things. I was wondering, Paul, if Paul's still here, Paul and I are probably a more similar generation, and growing up in the 80s, and having a computer was not quite as common, and learning to code back then was not very common at all. Arush, more Ursina. I will see if I can. I liked it. I definitely enjoyed playing around with it. But again, I tend to focus my time on things that are applicable to my current students because I don't have a lot of time. And I think Ursina is maybe not so much as advanced for those, or maybe a little bit too advanced for those guys. Maybe they'll try it. I don't know. We'll see. Team AQ, thank you for following. You do coding on a mobile phone. Wow, that's pretty impressive. It would drive me nuts using that small keyboard. And JamGod, I was gonna say I have one Ursina video that does 3D, so you might want to check that out. Yeah. Whew. It's hard keeping up with all those questions. Mishka, everybody still uses Scratch. Mishka, I teach Scratch. I'm teaching it Scratch like right now to my younger students. And so grade 5 we do Scratch, grade 6 we do Python. We can code with me. What do you think for your future? I don't know. Yeah, Team AQ, I'm with you. That would drive me nuts. I know people do it. Oh, okay. So, Paul, you had a ZX Spectrum. Nice. Yeah, Paul, I actually started out with maybe I told you this before. I started out with a ZX81. I don't know. This is... So, Paul and I are going back here. Let me find this. This is of interest to me. So, Paul started out with a ZX Spectrum, which was really big in England. Or in Britain. It wasn't so big in the United States. But this was a very big machine over there. And... came out in 1982. Wow, amazing. So, Paul, I hope you feel a little nostalgic there. And it says here, compared to the black and white display, it's precedent. Now, this was my first computer. Now, I had the American version of it. It was called a Timex Sinclair 1000, but it was the same computer. And wow, 40 years ago. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I got that probably right around this time. Wow. Ooh, C#. Well, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I learned basic programming on this thing, and like literally basic, the language basic. Oh, you can't see the picture. Sorry. I keep forgetting my screen's cut off there for you guys. Yeah, so here's the Sinclair ZX81, and that was my first computer, and that was Paul's first computer, the ZX Spectrum. So that was yeah, I never, like I said, it didn't really have that big an impact in the United States. I had a Commodore after that, so. Yeah, Michigan, I think you're probably a little bit more advanced than most 10-year-olds, for sure. I started learning that I'm in 20s feels bad. Yeah, Craig, don't feel bad about that. You start coding when you start coding. It's like learning a language. I started learning Korean when I was in my 20s. I started learning Japanese when I was in my 20s. Yeah. Team AQ, I do not do Twitch. I thought about it, but I couldn't see the point of doing both. So I just don't have that much time. The only reason I can do this now is because I took a break from my grad class. So, Team AQ, do you know Paul Dexter in real life? No, I do not, but I would be very happy to sit down and have a cup of coffee with Paul. Now, Paul is a supporter of the channel, and I very much appreciate that, a paid member. And he's been following along for a while now, and yeah, he's a good guy. He texts me on Twitter every once in a while too. So it's nice to see him live. So I do appreciate that. Ooh, Volley, what's the difference between computer science and software engineering? My understanding of this, and again, I'm not an expert on the subject, is that computer science is really the study of computation. How do we compute things? How do we compute them efficiently? How does a computer work at kind of a fundamental level? It's also a study of, say, algorithms, and how do we write an efficient algorithm for something in that way. But I think software engineering is more, how do I solve a certain problem, how do I write large pieces of software correctly and safely and with as few bugs as possible. I think, software engineering is more, concerned with the process. I could be wrong. If somebody knows more, please jump in. But I think software engineering is more concerned with the process than, sorry, let me get back to the chat there. Software engineering is more concerned with the process rather than the science behind it. So probably the example I usually give is I can write a sorting algorithm, and sort something myself, or I can just use the sort method. So maybe in software engineering you might use the sort method, but in computer science you understand how that sort method works a little bit more. It's more focused on that. Thanks, Team AQ. And Paul, cheers back at you. Paul, I think just something I talk to my students about myself is I'm getting older. I'm much older than my students. I'm older than most of their parents now, and it's lifelong learning is really, really important, and especially I think as an educator, it's important for me to try new things as well. It's important for me to struggle like a student does, and I think Paul, you're setting a good example. I'm trying to set a good example, and we're trying to learn new things as we get older, because we don't want to stagnate. We want to keep. There's a lot of great stuff in the world, right? So, So thanks, Paul. First programming language, we can code. That was basic. Yeah, JamGod. I do try, and sometimes it's just time zones. Sometimes you post when I can do it. Somebody asked my first programming language. Let me go back to my channel here real quick. And where's that sucker at? YouTube. And my channel. Your channel. And let's see here. I recently did this video on, where the heck is it? Basic programming. This was my first programming language. And I'm sure this was Paul's first programming language as well. This is what everybody started out on in the 1980s. This is all the computers had this language. It looked like this. So it was, I look at it now, I kind of cringe. But you know what? It launched probably millions of software and computer science careers. It was really the Python of its day. It was really a lot like Python. It was easy to use, and people really learned a lot from it. I know I did. That was my first language. But if I was starting today, I would definitely go with Python. I do not know my Discord tag. I don't know what that. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what that means. Sorry. I do have a Discord. I have a private Discord. Paul is on that, and that is reserved for my 16-bit members. So sorry. Some people do. If I had more time, if I weren't in grad school and doing other things in life, and bands and things and all that stuff I do, I would probably have a more open Discord. But as I'm not, I'm very busy. My Discord is closed. It's private to paid members, and like I said, Paul's a member of that. So, and again, I appreciate that, Paul. Oh, the Discord username in the last 4 digits is a Discord tag. Thank you, Mr. Beast. I did not know that. I did not know that. Like I said, I do have Discord, but I don't know the answer to that question. Sorry. I'm not sure what I did. Ooh, hide. Okay, I don't know what that even means, but I'm going to report. And hate speech, harassment, and bullying. We'll go with that one. This is harassing me. Report. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry. Yeah, really sorry you had to. Oh, good. It wasn't. That didn't come up. Somebody wrote something really rude in chat. But unfortunately, it's not in the video here. Yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know what that even means. So, unfortunately, I very rarely get that. But yeah, is it possible to create an isometric grid in Python? Hello, Kitty. I would imagine so. I've always actually, it's one of those things I've always wanted to try, but I haven't yet. I mean, I've done a lot with the turtle module, and I've really figured out how to make it fast, to make it as fast as humanly possible. But it's still kind of limited. What's interesting is, it's it's much faster on Windows and Linux. Well, Linux is fastest than Windows, than it is on a Mac. It's really, really slow. Yeah, I got more people popping up. Hang on a second, let me get that off the screen. Let me put that reports, and harassment or bullying. Yeah, this is harassing me. All right, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so I just reported that. I keep getting, this person is, I'm just reporting it. Harassment or bullying. And this is harassing me. Okay, and yeah, I don't know why people do that. That's pretty sad. But yeah. Anyway, back to Hello Kitty. Yeah, it is possible to create an isometric grid in Python. Oh, I thought you said turtle. I'm sure it's definitely possible somehow. I assume you mean like that's kind of pseudo 3D thing. I just haven't done it, so I can't really say how that would work, because the depth thing is a little bit difficult. We can go with it. Turtle versus Pygame. What would you say in your opinion? Again, I use the turtle all the time because that's what I teach my students. And I'm gonna hide this. And okay. Jam God, how often do you do these live streams? I used to do them more often, but I haven't done them recently. I tried this like last week, but my internet just went right out, and I've had a few drop frames here tonight. But yeah, Team AQ, people do that are just, yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're even people. They could just be bots that do their thing. I don't know. They say some people just want to watch the world burn. And you're welcome, Hello Kitty. You're welcome. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I think on that note, this is a good place for us to stop. Yeah, I just want to try this. I haven't done this for a while. But yeah, I was glad everybody stopped in. Again, special thanks to Paul for support. Thanks to everybody else for kind words, and yeah, some good questions here tonight. I appreciate that. And yeah, so hope you all do well. Yeah, keep on coding. Take it easy. Yeah, we can go with me. I do not have any of those yet. Sorry, but I will. It's something I'm learning. Nilesh, I don't know the answer to that question either. How to play audio with Python without downloading it if I have a YouTube URL? That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that one. Coding with 3DV. Goodbye. Jam God, smile back at you. And again, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to everyone. And you all have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. You don't want a free sub, then just, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm going to put this report. I don't know, it's harassment. Is that harassment? I don't know. But, okay, see you, Paul. See you, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks, members. Thanks, y'all.